Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. Today's episode is about Siouxsie the Banshees and my history with them, and wanted to show you some of my favorite music of theirs and talk a little bit about their music. For me, Siouxsie the Banshees is an interesting story because um, a lot of times I go back and let's say I hear a band halfway through their career, like I did Siouxsie the Banshees, what seemed like halfway through, um, I'll go back and check out and be eager to check out their older stuff. But that never really happened with Siouxsie the Banshees. I've always been more into Siouxsie the Banshees for me. Everything starts here. Even though this is a original copy of the Nocturne live album, which not necessarily a great recorded record, but a lot of great music on two records. I mean, just enough their best of to that point. This is probably done around 81, 82, this concert. Maybe 83, because it does have Dear Prudence in it. Excuse me. But, I mean, just has a lot of great songs on here. Um, it's just jam-packed. Israel is a great way to start. It's got a few of my Melt, which I really love. Early one I really like. Cascade. I really like Night Shift. Cascade and Sin in My Heart. Slow Dive. Painted Bird. Happy House. Spellbound. Just great tracks. And then because my brother had this on cassette, during the years of when I was probably like 10 or 11 years old in like 86 or 87. He had that Nocturne cassette, and we played it a lot, and that kind of got me into Siouxsie the Banshees. I had heard Dear Prudence on the radio and K-Rock, and I remember seeing the video of Dear Prudence, and it was an alright song. I didn't know at the time that it was a Beatles song. I'm sure I learned pretty shortly after, because I remember my parents saying it was a Beatles song. But the great thing about that too is Robert Smith is a guitar player for this tour, so he was a touring member. I can't remember if he played on Dazzle or not, but he played in that 82-83 break from The Cure. While he was doing maybe Japanese Whispers, sort of in that time period, before The Talk came up. He was touring with them, and I think he played on one of the albums. This was recorded in Royal Albert Hall. Looks like September 30th and October 1st, 1983. So that makes me feel old. But I mean, there's really nothing left on Siouxsie the Banshees that I liked before this period. Like, if you know me, I like PIL. I don't really like Sex Pistols. I like when they add keyboards. Same thing with the moodiness of Siouxsie the Banshees. Once they got to like Dazzle period, I mean, there was a lot of great songs before on the rock side. They were kind of a little bit punky. Like, obviously they're kind of goth too, but like Slow Dive and that Cascade, and obviously Spellbound and Night Shift. They're kind of goth rock, right? But they're kind of more atmospheric. Like the Helter Skelter and the really early stuff, like Hong Kong Garden. I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't know. It's just kind of sounds old. I remember just always sounding not very interesting, and just there was really no atmosphere. I really like Siouxsie the Banshee for her when she's in the moody, and the music is spooky, like some of the later albums, and just the sort of even the Eastern sounding that she sort of, and the instrumentation. And back then it was just kind of like a three-piece punk band, and they were just kind of sort of doing pop stuff. Like, it wasn't until their later albums really blossomed in my opinion. And that really, of course, my brother had the Peel sessions as well. We had the Peel session cassettes. I think there was two of them. Again, those didn't really do anything for me. Those are even more raw. It really started. Of all the albums, I did go back and get the reissue of Kaleidoscope. It's got Happy House on there, and I like Happy House, and Christine's good, and Skin's good. This album isn't bad, but again, this is sort of at the end of their. This and Juju, I don't mind. Of their later stuff, I mean, of their early stuff. Here's the 12 inches Slow Dive. Slow Dive's a great song. I think on here is the. Yeah, I don't know the B-sides offhand here. 1982, the cool cover. So it wasn't really until Dazzle that they really got my attention. My sister Christine had this album in 1984. Used to borrow it a lot from her. I didn't get this copy till probably much later. This actually might be like a 2012 issue. I finally got around to getting it on vinyl. But this kind of starts the period where it's a little bit more spooky. So you have the Hunger, Take Me Back, The Head of a Preacher Man. Oh man, Swimming Horses is a great song. Of course, Dazzle, Take Me Back. It runs out of steam a little bit in the end. All I do like blow the house down. Painting Bone and Running Town. Yeah. But man, the first 5-6 songs, Belladonna. Maybe besides Belladonna, the first 5 or 6 songs are great. Man, this started to be a lot more atmospheric here. A lot more atmospheric. And a lot more spookier. What's she talking about? She's like she into some kind of weird spiritualism, mysticism. Yeah, it does have Robert Smith on here, so yeah, this is the one he played on. And that's probably another reason why I liked it. But for me, they just really kind of left their punk in a really brilliant way. Left the punk behind and really got with the. They weren't shy about keyboards, and they really went towards the atmospheric. And even to some extent, a lot more mysticism and again atmosphere. And I really liked Budgie's drummings as the albums kind of got more, I guess Eastern sounding, or what have you. But his drumming is a lot more toms than just drum snare, like a lot of. It kind of reminds me of The Cure a lot in their periods. Just a lot of toms, a lot of. Really good album. And here's Dazzle, the 12-inch. That's the extended version. Some good B-sides on here. Really underrated song in their history. Really underrated. Love the orchestra. Love the strings. And then you have Tinderbox. Got 2 copies of Tinderbox. I want to say I have the CD somewhere too. But what an amazing album this is. It is so hard not to put this number 1 in my favorite Siouxsie the Banshees song. Album's probably number 1 or number 2, depends on the day. And which it's really strange because it starts off with Candyman. And I don't really like Candyman. It does go with the rest of the album really well, but to me, I don't like the Through the Looking Glass album, the album that covers. I don't really like the singles on there. And I don't really necessarily like the covers, even though I think they'd be good, like The Passengers and whatever Iggy Pop one is. But Wheels on Fire is a good song too. But I don't really. It's a cover album. Tinderbox where it's at. I mean, this album is amazing. Besides Candyman, every song, the other 7 songs are just amazing. Sweet as Chill. Hard not to put in the top 5 Siouxsie the Banshees songs of all time. This Unrest is great. Cities of Dust, of course, is a great single. Cannons is really good. Parties Fall It's really underrated. 92 Degrees used to be my favorite Siouxsie the Banshees song for a long time. And then Land's End. And then this, again, that kind of ties back when you know an album's really good, is when you have your favorite song, or maybe there's a couple songs you like least, and those songs you like least end up becoming some of your most favorite, like they're unknown to you again, and you listen to them again, and then the ones that are popular, they're kind of, you heard them all a lot. That's what kind of this one does for me. It's same as like Disintegration by The Cure. 92 Degrees used to be my favorite song, but Cities of Dust probably was my favorite song early on when this first came out. But then I heard 92 Degrees, and then now Sweetest Chill is my favorite. And I think This Unrest and Parties Fall are really underrated as well. Just an awesome album. An awesome album. I can't remember who produced this. I don't see any produced by. It's gotta be in here. Mm-hmm. Wow. They really produce this by themselves. Amazing, amazing. And then it's really hard not to put this number one. I mean, I'm such a huge Peep Show fan. This, I had, my brother had this T-shirt when I was 12 years old, and I wore it to my 8th grade graduation, or my 8th grade yearbook picture. So I was wearing this on my 8th book, which was cool. I love the cover. I love the spookiness of this album. I mean, when you think of Scarecrow and Carousel, and then you think of like Rhapsody and Last Beat of My Heart, Turn to Stone, Ornaments of Gold, Killing Jar. I mean, it's just creepy song after creepy song after creepy song. Like, it has great atmosphere. Some really cool beats, like the Scarecrow, Carousel. This would be a good song. This would be a good album to hear remastered. I would be a big fan of this if this got remastered. I think of all the bands that I think of, like when it comes to like remastering and putting out box sets and things like that. Siouxsie the Banshees have not really done that. In fact, it finally came out to be like 2017 when they started reissuing their first albums. But I haven't seen any box sets. I haven't seen any remasters. I haven't seen any special editions. Really, it's just they just kind of seem to like doing their own thing and retired. And they did that show last year out in Los Angeles, and I figured a tour would come after that, but it didn't. And I'd go see them, but it depended on the songs they play, and I have a feeling I'd be a little bit disappointed. But man, what a period of... I love this album. It's so spooky. Scarecrow and Carousel. Those two tracks. Ornaments of Gold and Killing Jar. Great singles. Peekaboo's alright single. Last Beat of My Heart was a 4 single on here. And Rhapsody, what an amazing ending to Rhapsody. Amazing. Amazing album. Here's Peekaboo. This has the Silver Dollar mix, which was 10 minutes. Catwalk and False Face, good B-sides. Here's Cities and Dust single. It has the extended version. And then Superstition album was kind of underrated, I think. There's a lot of songs on here I like. It's kind of the tale of two albums for me. There's a couple crap songs on here, I'll admit, and I will be the first to mention it. There's a couple turds on here. I want to say the turds' names are Gotta Get Up and Silly Thing, and maybe Cry. There's two if not three, really crappy songs on there, and they're upbeat and crap, and they suck. And here's the crazy thing. Here, we talk about what could have been an amazing album, right? If anybody knows the single for Kiss Them For Me. If you know the single, there's a song called Return on here. If you take Return and you take this amazing B-side, Sea of Light, you put Sea of Light and Return on here, and you have Peep Show and Tinderbox together. And an amazing album. I mean, because, again, it all depends on which way they go. Obviously, at this point, she's trying to write. There's a little bit of pressure probably to have some hits. I mean, Peep Show was probably the first time she had top 40. Everybody else is doing really well. New Wave's big. Like, there's, I feel like Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me is a great song for sure, and it made sense. So it did well. It was top 40. But Shadow Time and Fear of the Unknown, I do like Shadow Time. Fear of the Unknown is, it's like a dance song. It's okay. I think I want to get it. I think I still want to get it for the remixes. Oh no, I have Shadow Time the remix. I feel like I want to get Fear of the Unknown for the remixes to see if there's anything on it. But I did get this because Sea of Light's amazing. But again, it looks like they're trying to go more for hits than Moody. If they would have put Return and Sea of Light on here, this album would have been a lot better. There's a couple songs on here that I really like that aren't known that well. Drifter and Little Sister. They go back to back after each other. They really sound like songs from like Carousel or Peep Show. They're kind of moody and still upbeat. That really, those two songs really saved this CD for me. Otherwise, you have just 3 songs I like. Some of the songs toward the end was just not very good. Silly Thing and Gotta Get Up. I'm pretty sure those are the songs that suck. And the third one, Cry. But then you have Silver Waterfalls, which I don't remember being crappy. Softly, and then Ghost in You. I don't really remember those, the good or bad. But boy, I remember these two. Return and Sea of Light. Should have put those on it. That would have been a good album. I got a chance to see them on this tour. This is their last tour. This is Rapture. Here's my original cassette. Played a lot of it. Played quite a bit of this album. It's really an underrated album in Siouxsie the Banshees. I really like the cover art. Her beautiful face. Gosh, she's awesome. What a look she had. And there's a couple of people that are iconic in pop culture. We will still not know the influence of her look. It's still evolving. I mean, you gotta have some guts to look like her, like with the eye makeup and the hair and the. I mean, she was like a. I wouldn't want to say like a. There's what's the girl from? Fleetwood Mac, but she's kind of like a goth version. Siouxsie was kind of like a goth version of the girl from Stevie Nicks. I mean, she kind of has that same kind of personality on stage, where she's kind of spinning and dancing, and she's into it and stuff like that. But she kind of wears like some, kind of lacy things and kind of Eastern things too. So she almost seems like a goth version of like Stevie Nicks, and it's strange. It sounds obviously very strange, but yeah, it's just, I mean, she's got so much power on stage and everything. It's just her look is iconic. I mean, talk about somebody who really, went out and got it. You're talking about somebody who started out being sort of a scenester, kind of being known, probably because of her look. I mean, in those days, like, like Pete Burns from Dead or Alive, or Steve Egan, Steve Egan or Ricky Egan, whatever, from Visage, Rusty Egan. So those guys had these look. I mean, even like Bidjor and stuff like that. Those guys had the look like in their scene, and were popular because they dressed really good and they looked like kind of like this, like they were scenesters. And Siouxsie the Banshees, she didn't care what her voice sounded like. She still had the power and the and the the drive to just say I'm going to be a singer in this band, and she made it happen. Boy, did she make it happen. I really think this album is really underrated. The singles are actually probably the weaker point on this. When I look at the singles, right? So Oh Baby and Stargazer, they're okay. Then there's a song in between called Tearing Apart. Which is okay. All these songs are good, don't get me wrong, it's just that they're okay. I'd say a little bit better. I mean, I don't like them. I'm being really harsh here. I'm being very picky here. And then the fourth track, Fall from Grace, is really good. Not Forgotten is really cool. Sick Child is pretty cool. The Lonely One, I don't really remember that one. And then you go to side 2, Falling Down, which is pretty good. Forever, which is a really cool ballad. It was my favorite when it first came out. And then you got some really dark ones. The Rapture, Double Life, and Love Out of Me. I mean, Love Out of Me, it's the last Siouxsie the Banshees song. She's just giving it out. She's just yelling, and yeah, I mean, she's just the vocal performance in some of these songs are just amazing. The Double Life is so cool. Rapture. There's some really good dark songs on here. If you like the darker Siouxsie the Banshees, man, don't sleep on this album. Because Not Forgotten, Double Life, Love Out of Me, The Sick Child, Fall from Grace. Some really good songs on here. Really good songs. I got a chance to see them on their last tour, 1995. I saw them at the Wiltern Theater in Los Angeles, and it was a really good show. I don't remember a lot from it, to be honest with you. The Spiritualized opened up for him. I had never heard of Spiritualized until that. I wish I did. I would have enjoyed the performance a little bit more. Not like I thought it was bad, but I didn't recognize any of the music. I didn't necessarily love what I've heard, but I've heard some. I do have a couple of Spiritualized albums now, and I like them. Trying to get into them more a little bit. I have their, Spiritualized, what's the one with the swirls and the kind of ghost look? Laser Guided something. So I have that album by them. I heard that was the tour that I saw them in. So I'm sure I would like some of the songs even more if I would have known they were on. I haven't got around to listening to this yet. This is there's a Creatures CD. I'm hoping I still haven't got around to this. I should play this today. There's a Creature song that I really like, and I'm hoping it's on this, and I still haven't got around to listening to it. Just have so much music. But I'm gonna put it out because I'm gonna listen to it today. This is reminding me. And then I have Siouxsie's Manta Ray, which I think is a pretty strong album. I think I'll actually put that out today as well, so I can revisit those and enjoy those. I don't know those by heart as much as I know Siouxsie the Banshees. So that's my Siouxsie the Banshees history. I'd still like to see them in concert. It's crazy to think they've been broken up for 29 years now, and they haven't toured in. I think they toured once in 2000. It was like the 7-year itch. They had a DVD, and I think they did maybe a couple dates in America, maybe, or it could have been just one date in the UK, and that was like 2002. But and I also need to get the Glove record that Budgie did with Robert Smith. I need to get that record. That's been in my want list for a long time. But yeah, that's my history with Siouxsie the Banshees. What's your top 3 Siouxsie the Banshees albums, and your top 5 songs, Siouxsie the Banshees? Again, my top 3 albums is Tinderbox and Peep Show, and I'll just because it's my list, I'm gonna put Nocturne in there as 3rd. Top 5 Siouxsie the Banshees songs. I have to get back to you on that. if I was to do it on top of my head, sweetest, a 92 degrees, the sweetest chill. It's so hard to pick one off. Which one to pick off of Siouxsie the Banshees? I mean, off Peep Show. So this sweetest chill, 92 degrees. I'm gonna throw Dazzle in there. No, Dazzle. No, Scarecrow, Carousel. I'm just gonna throw both in there. And Rhapsody could be in there too. Like 3 songs off Peep Show and 2 off Tinderbox. Yeah, there's so many in there. Nocturnal, like 5 through 10. Melted, Painted Beard, Cascade, and Happy House, and Israel, and Slow Dive. There's Night Shift. There's so many in there. Even Christine. Fireworks is in there. I like Fireworks too. There's so many that are kind of in that 5 to 20 range. But there's also a lot in there between like 5 and 50, 5 and 75. I mean, 6, 7 songs on every album I really like. Some even more. So just man, if they were so good from like, for me, from like 82 to like 92, and even the 95 album. Just amazing career they had. So yeah, so what are your top 5 Siouxsie the Banshees songs and your top 3 albums by Siouxsie the Banshees? Cool. Well, thanks for checking out today's episode of Electric Cafe on Siouxsie the Banshees. Thanks so much. Have a good one.